Right guys, I thought I'd just show you what I'm up to here. Basically they put some cement on the little piece of metal that's around the bottom part of the door, and the cement was literally falling to bits and cracking. So what I thought I'd do is I would rip it all out and do it myself, as it seems the cement I use is 10 times stronger than the stuff they used. So I'm in the process of just creating a new little ledge, and on that ledge I will put some beams of wood to create a frame for the door, which will go around here and down, and then we can attach it to these beams that we've got here. One beam there and one beam over here by the window. So that's the idea anyway. We can even create a second door on the inside off those beams if we want to. So I thought I'd show you what I'm up to now. So I just need to leave that cement to go off for a couple of hours, no more than that, and then I can start forming the actual shape of it to make sure it's level. And I may put a little curve on at this end here just to stop any sort of possibility of it cracking. However, that's what I'm doing here. You know, sometimes when other people do work, you can find out that they don't do a great job and you have to do it yourself again. So that's what I'm up to here. So we'll just let that set for a couple of hours, and then I should be able to mould it myself. Hi guys, I thought I'd show you where I'm up to at the moment with the door installation and framing. So I thought I'd just show you what I've done with the battens in terms of creating a door frame. So basically this is what I've created so far. So let's start off with explaining what I've done here. So basically we've got large screws going through the frame to lock it in place. I've put battens that link the existing battens that I've just recently installed off the garage wall with the brackets. As you can see, we've got those brackets there. To secure the battens, what I've done is basically screwed into the side of the frame and put a bit of glue in as well, and screwed in these little corridors where I could get the screw in, and it's gone into the batten like that. I also glued it as well. So we've repeated that. I did that 3 times here, mainly because if I try and move this, it's solid. I've also put a piece of wood at the top that is actually going into these beams that run across the garage. Let me just show you how thick they are. The beams are about that thick, as you can see. They're about 2 inches thick. So obviously we've got one of the battens that's screwed into that, and then another, obviously the frame batten here, screwed into that batten that I've screwed onto the actual existing beam that runs across the back of the garage. So that's essentially what I've done there. We've done the same over here. Obviously put a batten running across, another one here, another one here, another one here. There is a bit of play there, however. The main reason for that play is, quite simply put, we have to basically have a little bit of room here, because as you can see there's a metal bracket there that allows that door hinge to connect. So if I just show you, that needs to have some room there. Unfortunately it takes a bit of room up, and what I've also done is on here I put a bed of cement. It's about 1.5 inch thick cement, and what we'll probably end up doing is waiting for that to harden. They say after 3 days it should be hard enough, but I want it to give it some extra time to cure. Curing can take up to 28 days, so I think we'll leave that probably 2 weeks before I think about drilling into this. And then that will obviously give us a bit more rigidity once I've screwed into that But in essence, that's what we're up to at the moment. So the next stage is going to be putting some insulation in the gaps, cut it, make sure it fits, and then do a bit of foaming. And that's essentially what I'm up to with the battens. I just wanted to explain the battens a little bit in terms of the doorway, because it's a bit of a challenge, because I had no way of fixing this onto the concrete or the door. When I looked at the door in more detail, it looked to me to be quite complex. If I was to start drill into that, there's no guarantee that the screwing into metal would get me a solid bind. So what I've decided to do is obviously just frame it and attach it to the other battens. As you can see, there's very limited ways of securing the battens to the metal frame. I could have drilled into it, however I didn't want to do that because drilling into steel isn't easy with screws. It's not the drilling, the hole is the problem, it's binding the frame to the steel. That was the issue that I was contemplating. So this is the way I've solved it, using some batten braces. Now over here, because they're quite short, there's virtually no play at all in that side. But over here, I'll just shut the door because the auto balance is getting screwed up. Over here the battens are quite long, and that's what creates some of the play. As you can see, it can actually move it. So we need to secure that there. It might not need that once the plywood goes on, because the plywood obviously will give it some strength as well. But essentially I'm going to start putting the insulation in now, and then we'll get the plywood on. But essentially we're getting there. I want to get this side done as quickly as possible so I can put the shelving up, because that's the main reason that I started doing this in the first place, really. But it's given me a reason to get it done. So I thought I'd just show you what I'm up to. Right guys, I thought I'd just show you what I'm up to at the moment. So we're putting the Kingspan installation in the various sections, fitting it as best as I can, but you'll always not be able to fit it completely properly. So what you need to do is remember to get a can of expanding foam and fill in the gaps like I've done here. So the foam I chose to use is this Soldal gap filling expanding foam. It's yellow in colour, it does a good job, and this is quite a large can. I think it was £7.50 for a 750 gram can. You will go through a lot of these cans doing this project. So if I was to say what you might need for a garage of this size, probably about 20 to 30 cans. So just to show you that I've locked it in place with the expanding foam. So obviously your cutting might not be perfect, and just use the foam to lock it in place, and then you'll make sure that it's secure. It doesn't matter if it spills out a little bit, you can pull it off, no problems. And that's what I've done here basically. I've also put some expanding foam in the gaps here, as you can see there. Obviously it's spilling out a bit here. It has a habit of doing that because of gravity. As you can see, the expanding foam is slowly squeezing out a little bit. But one added bonus of using expanding foam is it tightens up everything and makes it a lot more rock solid than it was previously. So it's like a brick wall, and it binds together, and it gives you a lot more rigidity in your structure. So that's where it stands at the moment. There's a little bit more to do. Obviously we've got to put some plywood on, but I just wanted to show you where I'm at the moment. This is almost finished, so let me just step back so you get more of an idea. So a lot of people commented on other videos that it wasn't completely finished and I would lose some heat because of the massive area here not being completed, and that's completely true. So we're rectifying that at present. I will put a little bit of insulation. We've got some 25mm that will go in the door, so let's just pull the door to so you can see the door. So we've got some 25mm that will slot in there, and you've got a few options. Obviously you can plywood it all if you wanted to, but it might be a lot of faffing about, and what I'm thinking about doing is just putting some foam on and then using some of that silver tape. You can buy silver tape just like the foil that's on the back of the Kingston panel insulation, and I might just tape it up and leave it at that. Doesn't have to be perfect at the end of the day. And if you wanted to, you've got the option of putting like a internal plywood door there. That would obviously add extra insulation. Remember, this is something I want to talk about. Wood has an insulation value all of its own. So in theory, you could line the entire garage with wood, and you would have a pretty decently insulated garage. However, you know, that would be expensive, so that's why we use insulation these days. So obviously, let's briefly talk about what we're doing with the garage door. I've ordered some 100mm thick polystyrene, which, in order to get the same sort of value of insulation, such as we've got here, we've got 40mm, but you can get 50mm insulation, Kingspan or Celitex insulation. The value of that insulation versus polystyrene insulation is that's double the density and twice as good. So to get the same sort of insulation value, 50mm, you would have to buy 100mm blocks, and that's what I've done. So we've got some 100mm blocks I'm going to put here, and we'll show you that in the next video. I just wanted to show you where I'm at the moment. The idea is we're going to block this end of the garage. Why would you want to do that? Why not use more Kingspan and more battens? Well, I want to retain the door in terms of its usability, because you never know, you might move house and you might want to sell it as a garage or a converted garage or whatever you wanted to do. In order to do that, we need to have access to the front door. So what I'm going to do is put some blocks of polystyrene insulation, which is really thick. We're looking at probably that thick in terms of blocks, which is about 10 centimeters thick, 100mm in millimeters. And we're just going to literally block this off, and it'll be completely insulated garage then. You know, and obviously we are 10 times warmer than it was, because you're always going to lose heat out of this area and heat out of this area. Once all this is insulated, we're not going to lose that heat. So I thought I'd just do a final video to show you where we're at. Once I've got the plywood all installed and we've got the white sheets and it's all looking nice, I think we'll do a final video. But let me know in the comments if you would like me to do another video after the plywood's installed and show how that looks in previous to me getting hold of the polystyrene, because that's coming on Monday. I've ordered 4 massive sheets of 2.4 meters by 1.2, so they're absolutely huge, and I'm hoping 4 sheets will do it. However, we may need to buy some extra ones. As said in a previous video, I've installed a new circular light because I had in mind we were going to use some polystyrene blocks here, and a long beam of light like we've got over here would have probably impacted on the ability to install it properly. So that's why I decided to change a few things. And obviously on here we're going to have the CCTV system on some shelves, and I'll be able to keep more of my pond equipment. Incidentally, if you're watching this video on my Technology Advisor channel, please go over to my Yorkshire Koi YouTube channel. There'll be links in the description box, because I do run a YouTube channel all about pond keeping, building ponds and that sort of thing. I also run another YouTube channel called Canon Lenses and Cameras. There's a Facebook group if you're interested in photography. I'll put links in the description box for that as well. As I said, we've got a large Facebook group, good community, good people on there for the camera equipment videos that I do. So essentially that's what we're up to at the moment. Just wanted to show you what we're up to. A lot of people have been keen and interested in these renovation videos I've been doing, because when I started there was no content on YouTube about doing this. All I found was 2 photographs and that was it. Obviously a lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon and been copying what I've been doing and putting their own videos up. Not as quite as comprehensive as what I've been doing. Nevertheless, it's nice to see people putting content up about their renovation projects, because it helps other people figure out how to do things. Because I have no doubt that many of you on the YouTube community had no idea about how to fix the battens on to concrete panels. There's very little information about how to do it. Obviously I used my bracket system. Please check out previous videos about how they look and how I got to do them. Part 1 will probably be the best video to look at for that. And then obviously we had to sort the electrics. The electrics was very complicated, very complex. I had to be extremely careful. Whenever dealing with electrics, guys, remember to turn all power off. You do not want to electrocute yourself. So that's what I did. Turned everything off. Remodeled this. That box was loose, hanging off. At one point, obviously, it was on the 18mm plywood that was attached to the panel. All they done and screw that in between 2 panels. Not the best solution to do that. You shouldn't really try and drill into or screw into concrete reinforced steel panels, because you can damage them, because they're very brittle, these concrete panels. They're not that strong, so drilling into them is not an option. Highly recommend you never drill into the concrete panels on apex garages if you can help it. So that's essentially what we've done so far. Hopefully you found this video informative. If any of you guys out there want me to do a new Q&A video about costs, how to go about doing things, I'm more than happy to share my knowledge, and hopefully you find these videos informative. Right guys, so I thought I'd show you where I'm at here. So as you can see, I've formed it all in, and I've come up with a solution for the issue that I had here. I don't know if you could remember in the previous video, but this foam that I put up, I cut it at an angle and I made a bodge job of it basically when I put it in. Instead of leaving it like this as a sheet, squared sheet, I basically cut it. So what I decided to do is put some plywood up here and foam in behind that fills this void up. So that sorts that little problem up. So over here, I thought I'd just show you what I've been doing over here, setting up the shelving units basically. So we put in the brackets that run down with the shelving supports. Fortunately I didn't order enough, so I've got another 3 coming. So another 3 of those are going to be coming, and we can obviously get our 4 shelves installed then. And it's coming along, don't you think? So that's what I've done over here. Over here, and I've got a bit more plywooding to do over here, and a piece over here. So what I did is, instead of basically ordering a huge piece of Wix's, the delivery charge isn't that much, it's only £7. I went off to our local hardware store called B&Q. Just before I continue talking about that, I'll just talk about how I cut that out. Basically I just got a jigsaw and cut it out, made it fit quite nicely. So as you can see, that's looking all right. So yeah, back to the B&Q story. Basically, I went up to B&Q with some sizes of pieces I want to get cut, and they cut the pieces to my specifications. So we've got some pieces of wood to finish this area up. I didn't really want to go to the expense of getting another 2 pieces and then trying to figure out what I needed. So I just went up there, and turns out that 1 piece is all I needed. So we've got some pieces of wood cut, and I'll show you that in a moment. So here is a selection of pieces of 12mm wood. I try to get lots of pieces of wood from like Marketplace on Facebook, but really people wanted too much money really. So basically I went up to B&Q with some sizes here. One cut which was 85 by 49 centimeter, another one which was 85 by 118, and another one that was 114 by 69. I was trying to figure out if I could get a whole piece at 190 by 69 at the top and 71 at the bottom, but it would use the majority of the wood. So I thought, right, I'll tell you what, I'll just get the 3 top ones instead. So the gentleman at B&Q over in Leeds did a really nice job cutting this up for me, and we'll install that in the garage shortly. Right guys, I think I've more or less finished in here, so I thought I'd show you what I've done. Obviously I've plywooded it all the way around. Obviously done the roof elements as well. Done a lot of expanding foam in the top part there above the door, and I'm just waiting for some brackets to turn up to finish the shelving unit that we've sort of semi-built here. So I thought I'd just show you that. Obviously this is what I've done with the plywood. I made a bit of a mistake with the cut on the plywood there, but I thought, bollocks to it, I've spent enough, I'll just leave it like that for now. Obviously I've used as much plywood as possible. If you're interested guys, pop over to B&Q in the UK, that's if you're in the UK, and they do offer a cutting service. That can save you quite a bit of work if you can't be bothered cutting it yourself. So I thought I'd just show you what I've done so far. We've just filled in the boards really. Obviously here is a cement ledge where I've built a frame. Now if you've seen the other videos that I've done, you'll know that this was a bit loose, but look at it, it's solid. So what's made that solid? Quite simply put, expanding foam in there. So if we just show you, I've got expanding foam all the way on the inner part where there was a bit of a gap, and the reason I had to leave a gap was because of these door hinges that go on there, and there's another one further down here, as you can see, going there. So I've cut a recess into the wood. So if we have a look, as you can see, there's a recess in the wood there, and that allows for the door to shut properly. At the moment I've got some cables in the garage, so I'll do that later and show you. But so I'm going to put some some sheets of 25mm in here, and then that will more or less finish off the door. So essentially we're more or less completed. Next stage obviously is to tidy up the garage a little bit, but I thought I'd just show you what I've done so far, and yeah, it's coming together now. All the hard work has paid off. So I'll just show you the rest of the garage while you're here. Yes, it's a bit of a mess, the garage, but you can see I've done a lot of work. I did some shelving units here, and the only part I haven't completed is the door, but we're going to put something in that. I'll do that in a separate video, and I'll show you that. But yeah, it's coming along, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think I've done a good job? There's basically, when I started doing this, there was nothing on YouTube, on the internet, on how to do this. Now, lots of people since then have seen my videos and done their own projects and uploaded their own little videos. But I don't think there's anything as comprehensive as my videos are. I've done hours and hours of video footage showing you how to do it. I even upgraded the long lights. I have one over here to show you. One LED light there. Now I did have another one here, but I upgraded it to a round one so I can put something in the far wall here to insulate the garage completely. But I just wanted to show you what I've done, really. So there you go, guys. So we've got a pool table. Obviously the whole idea of doing this is a pool room. But I also wanted to utilise this area here. So guess what just has turned up, interrupting our video recording. I believe these are the hinges, so let's get the shelving unit finished. Or at least mostly finished.